All right. Hello, Idiots on Parade, the Too Ugly for TV podcast. We mock the news so you don't have to. Hello, Jake.
How's it going?
All is well here. That is Jake Vevra, stand-up comedian in New York City. I am Nathan Timmel, stand-up comedian in Iowa City. And we're not a sports podcast, but last week we were both 1-0 with the Lions and the Packers. Your Lions, my Packers, and today we're 1-1.
Rough one. Goddamn Lions lost in overtime. It was heartbreaking.
Packers lost in the fourth. The thing that pisses me off about the Packers is when LaFleur took over as coach, he said all gas, no break, meaning he wasn't going to play conservative and like try and protect the. And today they were up all the way until the end, but in the fourth quarters, like he tried run up the middle. He stopped doing what he was doing to win the game and lost in the last couple minutes. So.
Yeah, Lions had a pretty big lead going into halftime, and then they just kind of blew it in the fourth too. Caught back up to go to overtime, which is pretty cool. But then overtime.
I did see a clip. I don't know if you caught this when it was happening live. There's a clip that's going viral right now from the game.
No, I wouldn't have seen it, and I haven't seen it because I just listened to it on the radio. So.
Oh, well, there's a clip going viral right now of a ref. I guess he called intentional down against Geno Smith, and he's saying intentional downing number 10. I think it's 10. See how either way. And Geno walks by him and says something, and he goes, "I'm talking to America right now." Intentional, like he just because the game is being broadcast, just casually tells the quarterback, "I'm talking to America," and then continues on with the foul. And people are digging it. It's a good clip. All right, let's jump into the news. You just sent me something. Let's start there. Holy shit! This happened on the 15th. I didn't know this happened. This story should have been bigger, but was not. Hunter Biden indicted on gun charges.
Well, and I'll tell you exactly why it wasn't bigger. Go ahead. Right off the bat, it's because it's a gun charge, and so the right doesn't want to, they love to go after Hunter Biden for anything, but they don't want to be sitting there going, hey, we need more gun regulations. I mean, we got dangerous people like Hunter Biden. We need to crack down on and then the left doesn't want to be sitting there going, it's Hunter Biden's Second Amendment right to carry that firearm. How dare you right-wing liberal cucks try to take Hunter Biden's firearms away.
Oh my God. That's it in a nutshell. You nailed it. I thought it was funny because this was the charge. If you remember, over the summer, he got a plea deal and Republicans lost their shit. How dare he get a plea deal when he needs to be guilty of everything under the sun? And so the plea deal got yanked, but it was for lying about buying a gun. If I remember correctly, I have not read the article. I'm going off memory. Because of his drug use, he was not allowed to buy a gun, and he lied about being convicted of drug use or something. He has is that what it is?
Well, I don't.
False statements on federal firearms in possession. Yes, false statements. He was not allowed to buy a gun.
Was he actually convicted on federal drug charges, or is this just from the photos on the laptop? That's what I'm kind of.
I think this was before then, because what year did this happen? Gun purchase in 2018. This is before the photo on the laptop. While buying a revolver at a Delaware, he lied on a federal form where he swore that he was not using and not addicted to any illegal drugs. So on the form, what a great stop check that is, safety measure. On the form it says, are you using drugs? Check.
I've lied about that same thing on a fucking federal gun charge or on a federal gun form. Are you kidding me? Well, I guess technically would have been a state gun. I don't know how it works out, but yeah, man, I'm not checking. Oh yeah, I took mushrooms last week, or I did a fucking key bump in a bathroom at a bar, a month ago. Like nobody is. So it's like, that's another thing. It is a bullshit charge too. It's a fucking bullshit charge. You're not going to get, and nobody wants to live in a country and this is just for people that have ever bought a gun at all. Everybody else, I'm not talking to you right now. Nobody wants to live in a country where some charge could come out later, or some photo can come out later of you just doing a drug or something, and now not only can the government come and take your guns, but you can get a fucking felony against you. You know what I mean? Like for the gun thing.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like that's fucking crazy. So
then again, the fact that our gun laws are the honor system is also pretty fucking crazy. Like, oh, he said he's not using drugs, so here, take 2. You know, like,
well, it's no point because how are you? If you're saying, well, they should do a
test to buy a gun, right? How do you check? You know,
right? Yeah, and so it's like, to me, take that question off of there. Like, that's a waste of fucking ink, if you ask me. Because no one is going to be sitting there going, "Oh yeah, dude, I love cocaine. Yeah. Give me my gun." You know, like, no one's gonna. No one's.
Drugs. Why do you think I'm unemployed? I keep saying yes on the drug. You know, like, are you using any drugs? Yes. We can't hire you. You know, yeah. So of course I use drugs. So don't sell me the gun. Oh wait, I want the gun. No, I'm not using any drugs at all. Of course, yeah.
Here's a statistic I want to see. Who's been stupid enough to check yes on that box when buying a gun? Huh? I want to. In fact, you know what? Now I'm in favor for that staying there, because if you're that stupid to where you would pick yes on that, we've all done fucking drugs. So if you're stupid enough to put yes while you're buying a gun, I don't want you having a gun. You know, I don't want you having a gun. So
not because you are on drugs, but because you are stupid.
Yes, it's if you're dumb enough to mark yes on that. If it comes out later that, oh yeah, you like recreational drugs here and there, fine. You know, like, I don't care, as long as you're not dumb enough to actually put yes in that box. To me, it's like a litmus test. You know, it's Metallica putting the thing about the M&Ms in their writer. That to me is what
litmus or litmus, because it's litmus and that was Van Halen.
I don't know. I've heard Metallica. I've heard Van Halen. Who gives a shit? Either way, my point remains. It's. I need that on there, because if you check yes, you're too stupid to own a gun. However, Hunter Biden, who I support having a gun, was smart enough to put no on the form, and hey, he needs a gun. Crack dealers are after him. I support him having a gun. Okay, I support
Hunter his Biden crack dealer, and they want to break his legs. He needs protection.
That's right. That's right. What's he going to do? Ask for the government to hire secret security set? No, he's a good man, Hunter Biden. He takes care of this himself. I'm pro Hunter Biden. I'm writing him in on the ballot in 2024. I think he should be our next president.
Yeah, I would. I have a story for you really quick.
Yes.
When you said if someone's dumb enough to do that, my friend Bobby, I'm going to tell this as quick as I can. My buddy Brian and I convinced our friend Bobby, our mutual friend, to get a prostitute, because he was this guy that he for I think 5-10 years he went to Vegas once a year, big blowout trip with some guys, and he always came home. Oh, I spent $800 at the strip club. I got her to touch my penis. I think she liked me. We're like, she didn't like you. You spent $800. Finally, one year we said, if you're just gonna go fucking spend that much money, get a call girl. Just get a prostitute. You're fat. Right. You know, nobody wants to have sex with you. Just buy it. And so he did. And he came home all excited. He's like, I bought a prostitute. So cut to a year later, he's at a doctor's office, and the doctor it's doing an intake form, or the nurse, whoever's doing the intake form, is just going down and checking off boxes. No, like, do you do any drugs? No. Do you do this? No. Do you ever been with a prostitute? No. And he goes, yeah. And the person doing the intake form stopped and went, did you just say yes, you've been with a prostitute? And he goes, yeah. He goes, well, now I have to start the form over because nobody ever says yes. He's like, what do you want me to say? I've been with a prostitute. But the person was so gobsmacked that he actually said, yes, I've been with a prostitute. The
person pre-filled it out, no.
Yep, had to go back and just start the form over.
That's right.
Now it's electronic. You could just change it with a button, but this is a while ago where it was manual and checking with ink and had to tear the piece of paper off. But
2 weeks later, he went to go buy a gun, and he was like, yes, I smoked crack with Hunter Biden a week ago.
And he couldn't buy a gun.
Yep.
And oddly enough, they wanted to know if he'd been with a prostitute when buying a gun too. So
he was like, yes, I told you I was hanging out with Hunter Biden. Yes to crack. Yes to
prostitutes.
Now give me the gun.
Either way, fucking great take on it. The fact this wasn't big news is because Republicans are all about gun rights, and they can't come down on him for that. So they have to bury this, and Democrats do not want to promote gun. You fucking nailed it. I nothing more needs said. That was beautiful.
Yes, I am pro Hunter Biden owning a gun, and I am pro Lauren Boebert getting Lauren Boebert getting groped in a theater by her boyfriend. I mean, listen, I have both lied on gun forms about doing drugs and groped people in theaters watching Beetlejuice in the same afternoon. Okay.
Diner. I was going to say Diner. I think it's Mickey Rourke's character. Have you ever put your dick through a bucket of popcorn?
Oh Christ, Diner. I haven't.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that. I haven't.
Mickey
done
Rourke.
it.
Mickey Rourke cuts a hole in a thing of popcorn so that when his date's reaching into
Is
the
that where that
popcorn,
came from originally?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's where that was the first.
Wow.
Either that or they took an old wives' tale and turned it into that movie. But that's the scene where he's got his dick in a popcorn so that she grabs it.
Nice.
Let's cut to
Lauren
that.
Boebert, go even further. Yes, this is the first thing that Lauren Boebert has ever done that I support. I support her vaping and getting groped at Beetlejuice. Next week, fucking hit him harder. I say go jerk that guy off in a bucket of popcorn. Go crazy. Go crazy. Bring a gun, bring a crack. Jerk off Hunter Biden. I say jerk off Hunter Biden in the theater with popcorn. I will, and then both of you should run on the same ticket in 2024. I'll vote for you.
I bet two things. Well, one I know, and the other I don't know, but I bet I know that the butter flavor scent is just. I mean, you're going to want that. Like if you're doing anything sexual with that scent, it's going to be good. But two, I bet the butter makes a good loop, so she could get some torque going, not torque, some viscosity going with the butter. I think
yeah, but just like when you eat movie theater popcorn, you start feeling nauseous like 20 minutes later.
That's true. That's not going to be good. Well, I mean, I suppose if you're either A, jerking off Hunter Biden, or B, getting jerked off by Lauren Boebert, you're going to get nauseous too, because neither one of those is that appealing.
You probably get some rashes as well.
Yeah,
maybe some blisters.
I'm glad you brought it up though. Her story. This has been my favorite story of last week. I absolutely love the whole I did nothing wrong. Fuck that theater. I'm a good Christian. Oops, there's nonstop footage of me getting groped, touching his dick, vaping, giving the finger to an usher. Like, I mean, there's nothing like what the kids call having the receipts where but the funny thing is it doesn't matter. Maybe. What do you think? What do you think? When it comes to Donald Trump, nothing can harm him. I mean, there's video footage, evidence of him doing shit, and his supporters don't care. Do you think this hurts her, or do you think that she?
Fuck no, this is a nothing burger. No one gives a shit that her
boyfriend he's a Democrat.
Nah, I don't think, because it's sort of like the gun thing with Hunter Biden. You know what I mean? Are the Democrats going to turn into the prudes over this? I mean, they kind of are, but they're not going too hard. They're not going too hard in the paint over it. Like they're not going to fucking dig in, because it's like, hey, you guys are trying to tell people be who you want to be, do what you want to do, love who you want to love. You know, if you want to touch your consensual partner in the theater in the dark, it's just kind of like,
I think that's the right alternative, but I think that's a false equivalency to say that I was born in the wrong body means you can, No,
it's not an equivalency. But what I'm saying is no one wants to hear from the people that are pushing free love all fucking prudish shit about a lady doing something that's not that big a deal in a movie theater. It's just not. You know,
it's not that what she did was a big deal. I just love the naked hypocrisy. That's my favorite part. I love the outright, I'm a good Christian, these people are bad, you need to listen to me, we need moral laws. Oh, unless I'm touching a dick and vaping and having my boobs grabbed.
And it's definitely funny in terms of the hypocrisy, but you're not going to get the left going too hard at it for the same reason the conservatives won't go too hard over the gun thing with Hunter Biden. It's just kind of like, yeah, but we're not supposed to be the prudes on the left, so we're not gonna. It's not like she was jerking him off with a kid right in back of her. It's like he was just kind of touching her a bit. Like it's a bit of a fucking nothing burger, honestly. You know, and vaping, who gives a fuck?
Anybody
she's
with lungs.
Vaping. What's up?
Anyone with lungs gives a fuck.
No, it's vape. Who gives a fuck? Secondhand vape. All right, they exaggerated the fuck out of secondhand smoke when that was still. Remember, it's like, all these people die from secondhand smoke, and it's like that's fucking bullshit. No one's dying from secondhand smoke. Like you would see people getting sick from secondhand smoke. You would hear some, oh, dude, what's wrong with my lungs? I was around secondhand smoke. You never heard anyone say that. They were just falsely equating like cancer deaths to secondhand smoke deaths. It was insane then. They're damn sure not going to do it with vapes. because we kind of we had an earful with the secondhand smoke thing. It's annoying. I don't like being around a fuck ton of it, but it's not causing me health problems. If I was the one vaping, sure, but
no, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying go out for a healthier. I'm just saying is like you there's no law that says don't sit in a crowded theater farting a lot, but I mean, just common decency says you don't just sit there ripping farts. And vaping I put along that level. Is it going to kill someone? No, but is it fucking annoying? Yes. That's so it's a matter of that.
Yeah, but it's also like we're talking 1, 2 out of 10 at best. You know what I mean? Having someone grab your boob in the dark when you have to have that fucking infrared camera there's
right.
It's like that's victimless crime at best. Come on now. And then vaping, it's like, dude, it ain't even cigarette smoke. Come on now. It should be conservatives bitching about this if someone was going to bitch about that. And so liberals ain't going to go too hard over it. You know?
Well, hopefully they do. I mean, this is the kind of shit that brought down Falwell Jr. is the fact that he was preaching everything and then got caught with that unbuttoned pants photo on the yacht. I mean, conservatives should lose their shit. They won't, because that's what I'm wondering. That's why I said, will this affect her, or will they circle the wagons and say nothing burger?
Yeah, but I think actually being a head of like religion, not just preaching it when you're in office, but like, I am the head, yeah. I am the voice of your God. There's a deity that made the universe, and I talk to him, and here's the list. And then he's not just getting he's not grabbing a lady's boob in a theater when he's like single and dating. This is like
watching
me and my wife are fucking other people
off in the corner.
And so it's like, it's such a now it's a nothing burger in terms of me, who considers myself a progressive atheist. I don't care what him and his wife do with pool boys. Like, I don't give a shit. But like, if he convinced me to give him my life saving because a deity who doesn't like that wants me to get, and then he's doing it, it's like, hey man, I just wrote you a check for $5,000. What do you mean you're fucking the pool boy? Then
that's what I'm saying is the fuckheads that buy into her unique brand of stupid, are they going to be offended? That's where I'm wondering.
No, because she's not a religious leader.
I know you say that, but she legislates and she talks about moral decency and how can she, quote, protect the kids through legislation if she's being fondled in a theater full of kids. Now, no one's sitting there, like you said, staring at them slack-jawed. It was in the dark, but still, it's a hypocrisy, and that's what I find amusing. I'm on your side. As someone that doesn't give a fuck about much, I don't give a fuck.
Dude, they elected a guy with his 3rd trophy wife who grabs women by the pussy and is being like has like credible rape charges against him. Yes, they don't care that she got her tit grabbed in the dark. Are you fucking kidding me? No, they do not care at all.
Okay, I'm saying he has that special bulletproof glow. I'm wondering if it applies to her.
It absolutely does.
Can get away with it. Can't anyone else?
But she's under that crazy MAGA umbrella for one thing, and then also this is such a smaller fucking thing.
Yeah.
Than the stuff with Trump. Like, no, it's tiny. If this video came out against like a politician on the left, we'd be laughing about it. So like, yeah, they're gonna do the same thing over there because it's such a small thing. You know, if she was still married to her husband and doing this, it might be a little bit more of a
kind of is. The divorce isn't final.
Well, yeah, but it's basically
it's filed.
They're separate, you know, and so. This is such a small thing that,
but in the eyes of God, they are married.
Right. If she was a religious leader, don't get me wrong. If she was like a Tammy Faye type character, if she was don't vote for me because you're voting for me to get in office to pass laws that you like. Now, some of them are based on religious nonsense. Sure. Some of them aren't, you know, some of them I would argue, granted, I haven't really read the Bible, but I would argue that a lot of the economic stuff that hurts the poor might fly in the face of that ancient hippie guy they worship from the book. So it's not all a religious based thing they're doing. Whereas if she was a Jerry Falwell type who was give me the money because I don't get groped in theaters and God wants you to give me the money, that's a little bit different.
Yeah, makes sense.
The standards for somebody at the head of a church, a prude church organization, is different, especially in a post-Donald Trump world, even on the right, for somebody in politics. That I think that to me is the clear divider. And then you also have the severity of what they actually did.
Yeah, and a tit grab and a cock grab over the pants, over the clothes is
It was so dark in there. They needed a special infrared camera. They had to go in post and they made it look like you were fucking wearing nods. And you were doing a tactical mission
in the
to
field.
shoot the guy groping her. Yeah. It was crazy.
Well, let's stay on the line of sex and morality and all that. Ashton Kutcher years ago founded a website. Is it the Milken Institute? Is that no Thorn? I'm looking at a picture. It says it's so Thorn, anti-child sex abuse organization. 2009 he founded this. So he has been trying to fight, not trying to fight. He's been fighting sex trafficking. He's been fighting child prostitution, child porn. He's protecting kids. Since 2009,
he was fighting it before it was cool to fight it. This was back when we were still watching Woody Allen movies and fucking sending Jeffrey Epstein money, calling it a conspiracy that he had anything going on those islands.
But then he and his wife wrote letters in support of someone they had known for 35 years, 25 years, and said, "Hey, this person was found guilty of horrible crimes. We get it. We understand the victims and their pain. We knew this side of him. We just want to talk about this side. You're the judge. We're gonna." And people fucking lost their fucking minds. And he stepped down from a company he founded to fight sex trafficking because he wrote a letter, and not even in saying he's not guilty, saying take this into consideration during sentencing. I don't know. It's people make everything black and white. I think there are complex emotional issues here. I mean, I don't know what to say.
I mean, yeah, it's one of those things where, like, I personally don't want to demonize him. I'm kind of viewing this the same as Jerry Falwell and the boat thing, in that, like, I personally aren't sitting here going, wow, what a piece of shit or whatever, because, like, I get that he worked with this guy. He was close to this guy. He cannot be expected to have a reasonable, unbiased opinion about what's going on. It's for the same reason. If he got called for jury duty and the trial was that guy, and they ask, how they ask you all the questions, if it came up like, oh, we were co-stars on the same movie together for like a fucking decade.
We raise our families together. We're friends.
He's for the same reason that he could not legally be on a jury. And it wouldn't matter if the guy's defense lawyer was Johnny fucking Cochran. Nobody is going to be able to argue Ashton Kutcher on a jury for this guy, for the reason that he's so close to them. And that reason is, since he's so close to him, he cannot legally be expected to have a non-biased view of what the hell is being presented to him. So for that reason, I'm not going to say like, oh, this guy is hurting victims and this and that. However, if
might not have been the brightest move.
It's not the brightest move. If you're the head of an organization that advocates and tries to help specifically victims of sex crimes, it's kind of Jerry Falwell in Orgies on the Boat. It's like, yeah, man, I ain't mad at you, but the people at that fucking organization that have been giving you money, they might be a bit peeved.
I can see that. Sideways question then. I didn't watch it. I don't know much about it, but they came out with an apology video that sort of flopped, and he released a statement when he resigned saying that, I apologize to all the victims who hurt by what I did. What we have seen over and over in cancel culture is when you apologize, you lose. So you just fuck you, double down. Do you think the apology was good, or do you think you should have given a fuck you, double down? I knew this man for 35 years. I never saw that side of him. I'm sorry to his victims. I speak only from what I know. Or is that a learning moment where he has to be, educated? Like I need to listen more. The victims know Danny better than I did because he hid this side from me. I don't know.
I don't know. I think at this point, just fucking stay quiet. You're obviously a dummy. Whatever you say is going to be dumb too. And like, he's dumb for even doing this in the first fucking place. First of all, what I know I went into hey, you're the head of this organization that is going to fucking view this as such a negative thing. Like, that's the big one. That's the obvious one. But it's also like, what are you gaining from this? In fact, what's Danny gaining from this? What judge is going to be sitting there going, well, it's time to sentence. I wonder what Ashton Kutcher has to say about it. Oh, I'm a big dude, where's my car fan. I watch that movie on a loop on the weekends when I'm not judging it up. And so this has swayed me so much. No, he doesn't give a fuck because he doesn't care about Ashton Kutcher. You know what I mean? Like who gives a fuck? But then also, okay, it's a letter from the guy's friend. The guy's friend likes him.
Yeah,
all people's friends like him. That's
what's he gonna do. I was gonna sentence him to 30 years, but Ashton said thumbs up. 5 years, time served. You know, like, yeah.
Right.
What is it?
It's like he's a judge.
I find this interesting, and I think it's going to go back to what you said about Ashton being the head of Thorn, the anti. Red, I can't think of his name, Kurtwood Smith, the dad from Dead Poets Society, and the mom from 70 Show. They both wrote letters too. You don't see them getting dry. You know, like they're mentioned in passing, like, oh, the dad from that 70 Show, and the mom also wrote letters, but you don't see them fucking getting hammered like Ashton and Mia. Now maybe it's because Ashton's still a bigger star than the dad hasn't really done a lot. That's
it's two things. It's the fact that he's a bigger star now.
Yeah, and they're the head of the Thorn.
But it's the head of the Thorn thing, because here's the thing: it's people don't hate that he's standing up for Danny, whoever the fuck.
Some of them are. Some of them hate him just for doing that. So no, you don't see the fact that he's his friend and he's standing up for a friend. I get that your friend has a dark side that you don't see.
They may like hate that, but like what really gets under their skin and is driving them to really go after him is the hypocrisy of it. You know, like, because that's what really drives people fucking nuts is the hypocrisy. That's the only reason.
We just said it doesn't matter. The hypocrisy of Lauren Boebert isn't gonna. Nobody.
No, I was just gonna make a comparison. If it wasn't for the hypocrisy, people wouldn't even be talking about that at all. Like that. It's only the hypocrisy angle that people on the left even kind of care about that. But for the most part, it's just sort of like, what an idiot, you know?
Yeah.
But it's that's why people are going after him is the hypocrisy angle, you know?
But whereas, like, the comparison, like, as I just said, people don't care about hypocrisy. The left guy,
right?
Is it just the left that cares and the right doesn't?
No, it's that
because this whole episode has been about hypocrisy unintentionally. The idea,
right? But the level,
the right and gun laws and everything we've talked about has been hypocrisy in some way, shape, or form.
But the level of hypocrisy in defending somebody who has been convicted for a sex crime when you are the head of a
website
is much higher than the level of hypocrisy of I'm single so I got my tit touched in the dark. Like that, you know what I mean? That's such a one nothing.
All you do is scream about the kids and protecting kids and indecent behavior in public, because that's one of the things is she always gets. So I mean, yes, it's different, but it's so
way lower.
Fucking scale of 1 to 10 on the hypocrisy level, I guess.
Bobert's thing way lower. Just in terms of like what she actually did was like she had a guy touch her boob. He was even being sneaky about it. You can see in the video. That's why they needed to have fucking slow motion close up stuff. He was really going like, and it's in the dark. So it's like, she's not really doing that in front of people, you know? Whereas this guy is like straight up advocating to a judge to give a rapist less time. That is a big goddamn deal to anybody who is on a part of that organization. That's way bigger. To answer the earlier question about Bobert in terms of, are her people going to care? Not nearly as much as the people that are involved in an anti-rape organization are going to care about their big public head of the organization guy going to bat for a legally convicted rapist.
How about this, though? He does. Let's. How do I phrase this? He resigned. He quit and apologized. So move away from the apology. He does good for. I mean, he writes a letter. It's bad. It's hypocrisy. Let's own up to that. Does he have to quit? I mean, he founded this. This is his baby, and says, "All right, I wrote a bad letter." Does that define the rest of his life?
I don't think it should. But again, dude, if you're a part of that organization, you're gonna I'm putting myself in these people's shoes. If they're gonna sit there and work all day and donate all this money to this organization that's about helping sexual abuse victims, like this is the last thing that they want to see.
Makes sense.
Is you advocating for like a rape victim or something. This would be like if you were the head of a charity for cops and a guy killed a cop and you wrote a letter to the judge going, but he's not bad all the time, dude. Sometimes when he's not killing cops, he's a good guy.
He's,
so like,
give him less time. You're happy, but come on, when he's not.
Yeah. Like you're off that fucking charity. I don't care how good dude wears my car was.
Good point. All right. As we start to wrap up, what did you say you watched? Slacker. What's that? Tell me about that.
No. It was about the what's the name? No, now I'm drawing a blank. It was Painkiller. About the Oxycontin.
You said Slacker. Did you mean Sackler family?
Sackler. Yeah. I meant to type Sackler.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was a Sackler family. Dude, it was really good.
Better than that one on was that Hulu that was a little over dramatic and
yeah, it was way better than that. And it followed the guy a little more. Like I love Michael Keaton and everything, but I didn't like how the other one tried to make it seem like dude, these doctors were just fooled by these clever salespeople. I mean, what would these salespeople showed up? They looked really hot. And they were driving nice cars. I mean, there were only MDs who had been practitioners for 10, 20 years. How were they supposed to see past this clever marketing scheme? It's like, fuck off. They should have.
Yeah. What I didn't like was the everything felt like a characterization of it felt like Hollywood. Like if someone described a doctor to you or then Hollywood goes, and then writes the character of a doctor, or this is what a coal mining family in West Virginia is really like. And so like,
right. It
wasn't real people.
Writery.
It was like a caricature of what real people are like.
Yeah. And that's not to say there weren't any parts that are a little cheesy or a little bit kind of embellishing certain things. But no, I thought this one was better. I didn't like how they decided to portray all the fucking people suffering from opiates in the last one, like Dumb Hicks and shit. It's like the writer's room got to take their digs on the flyover states any chance they get. You know what I mean? And it's
It was not even that they were dumb hicks. They had to be dumb hicks to be victims. It was literally like,
right,
now I'm addicted, and that's a true story. People did get addicted, but it was no one felt fully developed.
Right, and they were all dumb and homophobic and shit. And it's like, I'm sure there's a lot of homophobia in those kind of places.
Oh, there is,
like,
but
it's not the focal part of it. That's not what the fuck the movie's about, you know?
Well, and also, this is. Okay, this is where we talk about representation in Hollywood, where they needed to make a character a lesbian, so then they could have the homophobia, and I get it, it's all real. But when you're doing a story about drugs, you don't need to shoehorn in a sexual side to it just to show representation, or like it seemed again like not real. Like they just show people addicted, show what the addiction does. You don't need to add all your other.
You don't need to take your digs to every single person with a Southern drawl.
Right.
I know you don't like them. I know you don't like. I get it. I've seen movies in the last 20 years. But like, this ain't the one. You know.
Yeah. So I didn't even know there was one. So Broderick did one, and
it's great. Yeah, it was like
the basis of it.
Episode thing. It's mostly following the Sacklers and the lady. One of the ladies from Virginia who was investigating them, who first kind of brought this to the district attorney's office, and that whole thing. It was fucking great, man. Really liked it, and they went a lot into how they were able to kind of more or less bribe people in government and give them jobs and stuff with Purdue Pharma after they got it. So where they would have weird little terms in there, like the FDA would approve language on the bottle that says what's believed to not be addictive. It's like, what do you by who? Like, what are you talking about?
Anything can be believed, though. Look at all our major religions. You believe in some phony baloney god that someone invented.
Right.
Yeah.
Who believes that it's unaddictive? Is it the guy with the snake on the head in Appalachia getting bit because Jesus wants him to do it? Does that guy believe it's not addictive, or are we talking scientists? Did they believe it and do tests to confirm their beliefs? That's normally how these things go, right?
Sometimes.
Yeah, but it was great. One thing that did kind of bug me, And it just like, I really liked it, but I don't like how people fucking dick around with numbers a lot. And like, I get why the people in this show you would want to have be people who just were totally clear-headed and hardworking and got prescribed this from an injury, and they got overprescribed and then became drug addicts, like following the subscription or prescription before they went crazy out of hand. That said, they threw up a number at the end that was in the past 2 decades, over 300,000 people have died from overdosing on OxyContin. And it's like, all right, but now you got to do a little bit of math ski poo and tell me you got to subtract the people who, like myself, who OD'd on OxyContin and went into a coma and flatlined and did indeed almost die. You got to subtract the people who were doing a bunch of other shit too, and didn't have prescriptions for it. You know what I mean? Because like, dude, that ain't fair.
Was in your system when that happened? You were at the tail end of I need one more. Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah.
No, I did it and I kept doing shit. I even did a prescription drug for dogs, for a gland that humans don't even have, because we ran out of prescription drugs for human. And I just found it. I was like, fuck it. Let's see what this does, So that to me, Dr. Sackler, for all of his faults, I don't think would have been responsible for little Jake ODing. I don't think he would have, because I would have, had they not brought me back that third time, I would have been part of that 300,000 that they put at the end of the movie. But you know what? Even if Oxy wasn't there, I think I would have fucking done just fine without it in terms of ODing. I took a bunch of shit. So like, I don't know, man. And I'm so on the side of the movie, but it's like, dude, you have to subtract this. They even went through a whole thing in there about how, hey, you guys handpicked 12 cases, and 10 of these, they were taking other drugs. And they kind of made that seem like, well, see, this is just clever shit their lawyers say. It's like, no, that's a good point. Like, if they're taking other shit with it, now you can make the case, well, they got addicted to this shit through the doctors doing it legitimately, and now that fucking made them addicts. That's a different thing, but that has to be explained, because just you throwing in people that were ODing on a bunch of different shit, especially people that didn't have prescriptions for it, like myself. You're not doing like it's me. Like when you see the cop shout.
Stop saying like myself. Does anybody that uses myself or me or I is more appropriate sounds like a fucking asshole. So I'm gonna interrupt you and point that out.
Oh, listen,
non-prescription drugs like
that's a good way to stop a flow with fucking grammar. Nazi bullshit. Anyway, people like myself who OD'd on that shit with a bunch of other things that didn't have a prescription. That's pretty much like when they go when they're advocating for less police brutality, which again, I'm behind so much. Body cams, all that, fucking accountability, take care of that fucking blue code of silence, all that shit. When they go, did you know this many thousands of people were killed by the police last year? It's like, okay, you got to do some math though. How many of those people were shooting at the police? Yeah. Like, if you don't take them out of there, that number means nothing to me. It means fucking nothing to me. It's if you're not doing any kind of math to where, a kid who gets shot unarmed, you know what I mean, for no fucking reason, if he's underneath the same umbrella as, I don't know, a school shooter, like, you're not doing enough math, and that number is fucked. Just like the number is fucked. Just going, as many people OD'd. It's like, yeah, but
I thought you were going to go with. I thought you were going to say COVID deaths, where he got hit by a car and he had COVID, so he died of COVID. We're out of time, so you can find Jake on social media at Jake Vevra. And you can find me at nathantimmel.com. That's my website. It has all my social media shit there. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thank you, Chicago's Comedy Scene Radio Network.
I became pro Sackler at the very end of that movie.